Live 5 News starts now with First Alert Weather. Hurricane Dorian.
And right now at 6, much of the low country under a hurricane warning as Hurricane Dorian inches closer to the southern coast.
We have team coverage across the low country in Charleston, North Charleston, even in Georgetown, and at the State Emergency Operations Center in the Midlands.
We want to start first with our chief meteorologist, Bill Walsh. And Bill, you just got an update on Dorian within the last hour. What can we expect from this storm?
Well, we're going to definitely expect impacts, Ann McGill. We're talking about a slight left of the shift to the of the track, brings it a little bit closer to the South Carolina coast, but really as close as it's going to get. The impact's going to be tropical storm or hurricane force winds, 3 to 6 feet of storm surge inundation. Certainly we're going to see some power lines. We're going to see trees down. Very similar to Matthew. If you go back to 2016, this is very similar to Matthew. There's the storm. The structure of the storm is still in very good shape, although it's undergone a little bit of change, that it was sitting over somewhat cooler water. It was upwelling. It's right near the Gulf Stream, and we are still continuing to watch a very large circulation out there as we watch the storm continue to work its way. Now just starting to move. It sat for almost 36 hours there down over toward the Bahamas. Now we're starting to move to the northwest at 6 miles an hour. The more northwest, the more westerly component, the closer it's going to get to the South Carolina coast. So we're going to watch that carefully. We expect a turn, starting to make a turn somewhere to the east of Savannah. This is 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, approaching from the south. This is 2 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, just off the South Carolina coast, and then it very rapidly pulls away into Thursday night and early Friday morning. So let me give you just kind of a look at the warning changes. This has been extended now from really the Little River area all the way back down south. That's a hurricane warning for the entire coast of South Carolina. We also have tropical storm warnings for Dorchester, Colleton, Upper Colleton County, also Hampton County. That includes Clarendon County, also Orangeburg, and of course up into say Williamsburg County. You folks up in Kingstree, Neesmith Lanes, we're watching that for you as well, and that now is a tropical storm warning. We also have a Dorian. This is something new in the last couple of years. We call it a storm surge warning because when storm surges are going to be forecast, now we put out warnings for that. And again, 3 to 6 feet storm surge warning continues along the entire South Carolina coast. Here's how close the storm's going to get to us. This is one of our models, our RPM model. Will take you to about, say, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. It's going to start to see the onset of heavy rain and some gusty winds into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. This is all night, tomorrow night into early Thursday. This is 1 o'clock Thursday, just to the east of, say, the McClellanville area, maybe northern Charleston County, and then it continues to pull away. May or may not make a landfall, again, across either coastal South Carolina, North Carolina, but really not going to matter as far as the impacts from the storm. Chance of tropical storm force winds now at 94% here, 82%. You can obviously see that is a big problem. And of course, hurricane force wind chances right now have increased to 43% for the Charleston area, and of course along the coast. And you can see where that line is for the 40s as far as percentage wise. So it is getting closer to the coast for sure. Rainfall, we could see certainly quite a bit of rainfall, 5 to 10 inches along this area, in particular east of I-95. Once you get west of that, you're not going to see a lot of rain with the storm as it continues to work its way east. But this is torrential rain on top of the storm surge. So impact-wise, we are looking at 5 to 10 inches of rain, 39 to 73 mile an hour wind gusts, probably higher and possibly stronger as far as, you know, low-end hurricane force winds, talking above 74 along the immediate coast. 3 to 6 feet of storm surge, water inundation coming up the rivers, up the coastline, certainly on the beaches. And as far as timing, just some showers for tomorrow with storm surge increasing even as the storm is that far south. Is going to start pushing that northeasterly wind into the area. Tropical storm winds, heavy rain, storm surge, of course, 3 to 6. This is tomorrow night. That's the big impact tomorrow night and Thursday. That's when we're going to feel the brunt of this storm. Heavy rains, tropical storm force, if not hurricane winds, into early Thursday morning through midday on Thursday. As far as our threat con, 1 out of 10 being the highest chance of a tropical system to impact us. We are sitting at a 10. Doesn't get any higher than that. Continue our team coverage as we move not only through this half hour, but also right through the storm. Don't forget to also follow us on our Live 5 mobile app as well. Back to you guys.
All right, Bill, thank you. Now, take Dorian seriously. That was the message from leaders from Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties who held a news conference just a couple of hours ago. Rob Way was at that news conference and joins us now live. And Rob, they're saying now is the time to evacuate.
And both the Charleston County Chair Elliott Summey and Senator Tim Scott were urging people to be safe and remember that in a hurricane, it's not wind that's the biggest danger, it is water. So just be aware of that, and that is why they're asking folks to evacuate now while you still have time and before we really start seeing the impacts of the storm that's coming up the coast. And it's why so many places have already started preparing, like down at the Battery. They're boarded up and the front doors are blocked by sandbags. Wind and water are, of course, major concerns there. And it's a sight seen all over the Lowcountry. First responders were also sending out their own message today as well. Charleston County EMS says, once sustained winds go over 40 miles per hour, they will not be responding to calls. Once wind is over 30 miles per hour, you won't get a choice on which hospital you're being sent to. And Senator Tim Scott, who is also here, says if needed, the federal government is ready to help.
I will say that I've had the privilege of talking to the White House last night about their preparation to make sure that the resources necessary for those folks in the mandatory evacuation area, the 2 million of us from Florida to Virginia, we will have the resources necessary if necessary.
Folks with 911 dispatch were also here, and they were giving folks messages about when to call 911 and when to not. They said that when you have water in your house, unless that is a danger to you and your family, then do not call 911 about that. The same goes with power outages. They said unless you see electrical wires down and it's causing a hazard, then do not call 911. And those were some of the messages we heard from those leaders today. Live in Charleston County, Rob Way, Live 5 News.
All right, Rob, thank you. Harv Jacobs live in Union Heights in North Charleston, where a neighborhood with a history of flooding is getting some help to deal with Hurricane Dorian. And Harv, the mayor himself joined in today to give sandbags to the folks who need them.
Bill, Mayor Keith Summey is very familiar with Union Heights. He says he worked here for 24 years. Well, today the mayor and others came out here to help some people who really need it. The caravan rolled through Union Heights this morning. Led by Mayor Keith Summey, they went door to door to hand out sandbags.
We were handing out sandbags, but we know that doesn't get out to everybody.
The mayor was joined by police officers, firefighters, and public works employees. They put the sandbags in front of doors at homes and buildings, including the neighborhood Senior Citizen Center.
It's nice to help the community.
Very appreciative, because sometimes we're the neighborhood that is forgot about. So very appreciative.
Sandbags, man. Yes, ma'am.
North Charleston Police Chief Reggie Burgess also helped out today. Union Heights holds a special place in Burgess's heart. He grew up here and still has family living in the neighborhood.
The best thing was like my aunt walking over there talking to each other, the different people going over to each other's homes and talking with them about the needs and what to expect.
In addition to giving out the sandbags, police officers also went door to door to find out who's staying and who's leaving for the hurricane. Sergeant Gary Zimmer told those who are staying that they might want to go to a shelter instead. It was a day to help others who may need it most.
That's what we're looking for. Teamwork, my babes. There we go.
Mayor Summey says sandbags also were handed out in the Accoby and Pepperhill neighborhoods. Live in North Charleston, Harv Jacobs, Live 5 News.
Coastal cities are getting ready for the hurricane and the rain and the wind that will come with it.
The city of Folly Beach restricting access now onto the island until the storm has passed. On Folly, Paola Tristan Aruda tells us what folks need to know.
It's something they do every time they have a hurricane. The city blocks off the island to stop too many people from coming in. During the storm, they'll be patrolling the island and monitoring conditions. City officials say everyone should be prepared for anything. They are hoping folks will evacuate, but for those who choose to stay on the island, they'll need to show 2 forms of ID to get in. Anyone who's not allowed to be here will be fined for trespassing. Mayor Tim Goodwin says these precautions are necessary.
You know, this storm, if it took one slight turn to the left, goes from being nasty with just wind and rain and some local flooding to being really nasty and destroying things.
For more information about what sort of identification you'll need, you can visit our website, live5news.com. In Folly Beach, I'm Paola Chesneruda, Live 5 News.
I'm with our Live 5 phone bank. We are taking your phone calls, answering your questions about preparations for Hurricane Dorian. That number is 843-402-5566. You can give our staff here a call. We have volunteers who have been coming in. With me right now is Goose Creek Mayor Greg Habib. He has been on the phone answering some of your questions, but I know folks from your area want to know what sort of preparations are in place for them.
Well, we've been preparing now for several days, working very closely with Berkeley County. We're very fortunate to have a partner in Berkeley County like we have. Our police and fire are both staffed up. They're both taking turns, both working the entire shifts. The entire departments are on 12-hour shifts, so everybody's staffed up. Our EOC is up and ready to go and working right now. And we're getting that sort of information out, trying to make sure everybody knows where the sandbags are, where safe options are, making sure that the people that have evacuated let us know. I would ask everybody else that if they are evacuating, please let the city of Goose Creek know, that so our police department can know who's there and not, so we can check on their homes. But we've been working very hard, and we have a very good partner with the county right now, so it's good.
And we do know that Berkeley County will make a decision tomorrow about where and when to open up shelters, so we will also let folks know to be sure to check back in for that information. Again, I'm going to let Mayor Greg Habib get back on the telephone and answer your phone calls. You can call until 402-5566 right now to get your hurricane prep questions answered. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I thought it took a step.
Right now, Georgetown County is getting prepared for Hurricane Dorian. The mayor says crews have been working to clean the drains to lessen the impacts if this storm hits.
Live 5's Alexis Simmons joins us from Georgetown with more on how people are getting ready.
Well, this is just some of what you'll see here on Front Street in Georgetown County. While many businesses are closed, there are others that are still open. Now, county officials tell me that a lot of people have not listened to those evacuation orders for Zone A here in Georgetown County, and they're asking residents to take it seriously.
Me and my family, we're getting ready to get out of here. We headed more inland. We're going to Florence, South Carolina, getting ready to get away from the storm.
We're staying here.
We're freshmen at the Citadel, and so yesterday at 12 o'clock we got evacuated from Mount Pleasant, and I'm originally from here, so I brought my roommate here.
Here's a look at Front Street. Sandbags are lining front entrances and boards are covering windows. This area near the waterfront floods during high tide. These barriers are in place to help prevent that flooding.
Even if the best case scenario happens, we're still expecting anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. We're still expecting about 6 feet of storm surge.
County officials are urging residents to make sure their stormwater ponds are also hurricane ready by making sure pipes, ditches, and other areas are clean. They say just one community stormwater pond with blockage has the potential to flood an entire neighborhood.
We was involved in the South Carolina flood in 2015, so I'm kind of worried about the water and stuff like that. Water came into the house, lost 3 cars. So that's one of the reasons we're not taking any chances or anything with the storm.
And just a reminder, Pleasant Hill Elementary School is the designated emergency shelter right now. There are shuttle buses available if you need transportation. I'm in Georgetown County. Alexis Simmons, Live 5 News.
And Georgetown County has added extra sandbag distribution hours for tomorrow. They are from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You will be able to get up to 10 sandbags at the locations you see right here on your screen. You'll also find this information on our website at live5news.com.
As this hurricane approaches, Ann and Bill, I'm worried about 3 things. I'm worried about the winds, I'm worried about the floodings, but I'm really worried about the power outages afterward.
It's going to be a lot for us to deal with, and folks want to know, what can we expect?
Well, if you can expect similar to Matthew, right? That's what we had in 2016.
Right.
Power outage. Remember Edisto Beach? We had all the problems down there. We had a lot of storm surge, water potential.
Right.
And that's really, this track is very similar to that. Might be just a tad stronger. Remember, back in 2016, Matthew was a weakening Category 1. This will be probably a high-end Category 1 or a low-end Category 2, but don't even focus on that. As the storm weakens, that wind field gets expanded out. It goes out from the center, so the effects of the storm are way away from the center, but the latest model trend has it a little bit closer to the South Carolina coast.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. Let's take a look right here as we say, take a look at the storm itself. Again, by the way, if you want to see what it looks like on the inside of the storm, I just tweeted out a video from the hurricane hunters who have been out there God bless those folks out there all the time tracking the storm, dropping the drop zones in them. All right, there's the storm. Again, a large one. Looks like the organization of the storm continues. And in fact, it looks like it's starting to pull away pretty good now from the Bahamas over slightly warmer water now. So any kind of weakening may or may not have ended. We're watching this short wave of energy up to the north. High pressure to the west continues to help kind of protect the east coast, and that's been the case. And of course, the ridge that helped drive it off to the east. But this area of high pressure that's kind of in like that, it's sort of kind of acting as a bumper as it comes to the north. What we don't want to see is this weaken and the storm come a little further west versus north and east. So these are the players that we're continuing to watch as we watch the atmosphere very, very carefully as it changes. Wind field looks like this as we head on into our Wednesday night. These are tropical storm force winds already trying to butt up against the coast Wednesday night on into late night Thursday. This is 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Again, we're going to have the very high tide at that time. All of those winds are going to continue to come on shore. So in other words, as you take a look at the storm, as it approaches from the south, this is the wind field. It's just going to continue to pile up wind around the storm and then right up along these coastlines right here, pushing that, pushing the wind, the water, and of course the storm surge on shore. And then again, this is 8 o'clock Thursday morning, and there's hurricane force winds right there in the purple. So that's hurricane force wind. You can see just how close it's going to be as it makes it past by lunchtime on Thursday, and then pulling away by, say, late Thursday night into early Friday morning, again, as you look at that. As far as wind speeds themselves, talking in the 40s late tomorrow night. Certainly we're going to talk about numbers in the 50s very easily, and even some low-end hurricane numbers as we make our way into, say, late Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, now Thursday night, still in the 40s as we see the storm slowly pull away. So bottom line, I'm very, very concerned with the flooding as well as the wind, right? So let's look at the flooding as we move on into tomorrow. At the late night, early morning, this is the one tonight after midnight, 7.6 feet. Remember, flooding begins at 7 feet, right? That's when we get the flooding. And then, of course, tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 feet. And these are the projected flood stages. Look at this, Thursday, 10.3 feet. I mean, we didn't get to 10 feet with Matthew or Irma, so that's going to, and again, the angle that the wind attacks the coast is going to be critical, pushing that water up into the harbor, up into the rivers, the tributaries. So that's going to be a major concern. And then into Thursday afternoon, it starts to back off. As the storm pulls away, we'll start to see the back end, the northerly winds, which will also have friction components with it as well. All right, this is storm surge. Again, this the orange right here, that's greater than 6 feet. The yellow is greater than 3 feet. Here's Georgetown, a lot of orange, a lot of 6-foot storm surge. Look at this. This is greater than 9 feet out here south of Pawleys Island, even up toward Pawleys Island. So that is why the concern, that's why the evacuation all the way down the coast. Same thing back here, Owendorf back over to Wando, down toward Mount Pleasant. As you take a look back over toward Charleston, again, right along the rivers, we're starting to see some, this is greater than 6 feet right in here, piling up along some of those rivers, as well as down along the south coast, Folly Beach, James Island. Bottom line, the storm surge warning is up for a reason. That's why you have to be ready for that. There's the storm well down to our south, continuing to see it spin around. A lot of energy getting transferred to the northwesterly quadrant of this storm. Probably it's over slightly warmer water. We might see that strength level off, even kind of maintain itself over the next 24 hours. And right now, thankfully, things are dry for the evening out. As you look at our home telecom sky cam out there at the Volvo Car Stadium at 86 right now. East wind at about 14. Again, it's going to be just kind of mild and muggy into tonight. You can see as you look at some of the numbers, Cottageville back on over toward Beaufort, upper 80s, even 90 right now out in Orangeburg. So if you've got plans to prep for this storm tonight, it looks okay weather-wise, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. I don't expect showers tonight, but we'll continue to track that. Also in the tropics, we're tracking Ferdinand, which is the latest tropical storm heading in toward the western Gulf of Mexico. Not an issue for us. This could become Gabrielle out here. That's the latest tropical depression. So we have 2 other storms out there we're watching. This we'll keep an eye on northeast of Dorian, but again, at this point, we'll just kind of throw those on the back burner and keep you posted. Of course, First Alert Weather Days, that's where you get more information more often. That's what we have for you, of course, during the impact of the storm on Wednesday, Thursday. The rest of the week looks much better as we probably will be cleaning up into this weekend. Back to you guys.
State officials continue to make preparations for Dorian as it comes our way. The governor says those in the evacuation zones need to leave as soon as they can. And quite frankly, he says they can't wait any longer. The Department of Transportation says hundreds of thousands of South Carolinians have already evacuated. The state's Emergency Management Division says it's making plans for initial response, then damage assessment, and then recovery.
This is a very serious storm, and a western shift, that is towards land, of just a few miles could bring enormous damage to our state. So we want everyone to heed the warnings, listen to the official instructions that are given, and we want to prepare for the worst, but of course, we want to pray for the best.
The State Emergency Operations Center remains on full alert tonight at its highest level.
The State Highway Patrol has made a change to the I-26 lane reversals. Drivers can now exit onto College Park Road. This will be for both the true westbound lanes and the reversed lanes. We'll update you once all lanes are back to normal.
All operations at the Charleston International Airport will stop tomorrow at 3 p.m. That means any flights in and out of the airport will be canceled at that time, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Officials say depending on weather conditions, operations could be expected to resume on Friday morning, but we'll have to wait and see. Now let's talk about the hurricane.
All right, it's coming north. It's going to be a strong 1 or a 2 as it comes by. There's a lot of the new modeling we're continuing to watch, and we fine-tune this, but 5 to 10 inches of rain. Tropical storm or hurricane force winds, certainly not out of the question. Storm surge, very dangerous.
We'll have more on this coming up tonight at 7.